I often see on YouTube, Reddit, or also in any other forum that workflows are created with an extremely amount of nodes. And don't get me wrong, I have also such workflows and they also work quite well, but they have the disadvantage that they are quite prone to bugs. And if you have to debug this workflow, it can quickly become very time consuming and also very exhausting. And as an example, here I have the AI SEO team. And as you can see, here we get some data for the workflow preparation. So BigQuery table names, article metadata. We create a new spreadsheet in order to insert performance data, but we have also a complete Serper analysis followed by a index check and also a check for the page speed, then performance metrics and also the performance analysis. And we have also a node to scrape the content of the article. And everything will be passed to the SEO team. We have for every key aspect, when you're going to analyze and also optimize an article, one agent, for instance, for the article analysis, keyword rank tracking analysis, analyzing the FAQs related search and also generate new content based on it. And there's also an agent which works as an interpreter, which will translate all the prompts into a target language. And as I said, they can work quite well, but you can also see I'm right now in the 7th version of it, because usually there's always a small thing that you forget, or if something has changed, for instance, in an external API, they removed an endpoint or something similar, then it's always a lot of work to update and also improve the workflow. But you can also create relatively good SEO workflows with less nodes. So for instance, here we have in total 30 nodes and 5 of them are used to create an HTML file, which will be saved into Google Drive. And the only thing that is important for the analysis and also optimization of the content is the node where we get the article performance. So in this case, if we have a look into the JSON, then we can see we get directly from the BigQuery table, which is the data that is coming from the Google Search Console. And we also create directly inside this query performance metrics like the current clicks, previous clicks, as well for the impressions, click-through rate and position, and also the delta. So this allows us to check based on a time frame if the visibility, clicks, or also the average position is better than before or it became worse. And this data is usually already enough combined with the content of the article, which we get here from Serper dev. So scraping it is really easy. You just need a single endpoint, and then you get the most important data like the content and markdown, title, meta description, and also other data. That means if you have some real performance data as well as the content of your article, then you can easily optimize it. And this is also what happens here. So we get the data from the article, performance data. Then there's also a limit, which I have set right now to 50, because if you pass a lot of data to the SEO writer, then it might be possible that the amount of tokens is too much and then eventually it will break. So you can either pass less data or use another model. For instance, here I'm using GPT-4o mini, but you can also use a model which is better and also able to analyze more tokens. And once we have the performance data as well as the content, then we merge both so that we just have a single item. So the optimization will only run once. And this array already includes all the data we need. As I mentioned, title, description, markdown, as well as the performance data is already enough to be able to analyze and optimize the content with a single AI agent and also with a quite cheap model. As I said, GPT-4o mini, so an optimization does not cost more than a few cents. And if you combine it also with a structured output parser, then you will be able to create such reports, which I have here. So for instance, this is one of the reports that I have created before. It includes 10 title recommendations, 10 recommendations for the meta description, and everything is based on the data, and also content update recommendations, which will help you to update your content in a few minutes instead of doing the keyword research, performance analysis, extracting keywords, and eventually also update the content by yourself. So as an example, here we do have the current sentence, which is used in the article. So if I would just copy it and then go to the article and search for it, then we can see that the created report includes a recommendation to replace this text by using this one, because the new sentence includes also the keyword rank tracking, which is one of the keywords that were extracted before. And another good thing about this report is that since it's completely structured, you can also check it as an HTML file. So this file is exactly this document in Google Docs. And if you want to create such workflows, then you simply need one agent, which would do the analysis. So as you can see here, if we have a look at the system prompt. We have a part for the performance analysis, content optimization strategy, meta description optimization, content enhancement, and also a plan how to perform this analysis. So the first step is to identify the top 5 to 10 queries based on thresholds, followed by a gap analysis, optimization recommendations, and also a priority scoring. So in case you want to update this, you could also just simply change these values here. And we have also a part where we exactly describe how the output should look like. And the system prompt combined structured output parser allows us to create content in a structure that is predictable and also reliable, because this structure is needed for the next agent, which is responsible for taking this JSON as an input and extracting the content based on the key, if the data is inside a list or if there are even nested lists, into proper HTML. And this agent is also nothing special because I haven't created this prompt just for this workflow. So I'm using this agent also on other workflows because the generation of the HTML content is always the same. For example, here we have a hierarchy for the heading. So if it's an H1, then it should be the report title. If it's an H2, then we should use the ID, section ID, and so forth, and combine this structured output with an HTML template, which includes already the stylings. It's really easy to create good looking reports without a lot of effort. So that means it's already enough if you have inside the head tag a few stylings and then followed by the output from the formatter agent. And then all the other workflows are also quite simple. We get here the HTML output converted to a base64 string, and after that to an HTML file. And eventually we will store it in Google Drive with the file name, which is created by using the current date as well as the title of the page that we have optimized. And it is even possible to use this workflow for websites with a lot of pages, because the cost for analyzing and also formatting the content is usually less than 2 cents. And also scraping a single site is just 1/5 of a cent. So that means you could also optimize more than 30 pages and most likely will pay less than €1. That's it about the video. In case you do have any questions, feel free to add them to the comments, and we will hear each other in the next video.